Hi, I'm Kathleen, and I'd like to welcome you to Shanti's Yin Yoga. We're going to focus on the spine for this class. This is adapted from Bernie Clark's series in his book, Yin Yoga. Sydney's going to join us. And I invite you to take a comfortable seated position. If you'd like, prop your hips up on a bolster or a pillow. And just take a minute as we settle in. You might close your eyes or lower your gaze. And as you settle in, perhaps do a little bit of a body scan from top to bottom. You might wiggle your shoulders or your neck or your spine. Just bringing attention to the sensations in your body, identifying if there's a particular area that might need a little TLC today. Feeling the effects of gravity as you really let yourself settle in. And then I invite you to bring attention to your breath, that steady, rhythmic in and out, in and out. As you do so, you might introduce a count like this. Inhale, 2, 3, exhale, 2, 3. Finding your own steady rhythm. Recognizing that especially during Yin, where there can be plenty of quiet space during the class, if your mind starts to wander or your attention is wandering, returning your focus to your breath can be a good way to kind of pull yourself back onto your mat. At the same time, recognizing that wandering is a normal part of the practice. Using your breath as an anchor during the class. So we'll go ahead and move into our first pose. In Yin, this is called butterfly. So from your seated position, you're going to keep your knees bent, but take your feet out in front of you with your soles together. This may remind you of bound angle pose from our flow classes, but in Yin, it's fine to keep everything relaxed. You don't engage your muscles. You might have your feet out a little bit further so that it's a really loose diamond. And then as you begin your pose, you may find yourself folding gently forward, bringing your chin down to your chest, your shoulders forward, letting your spine curve forward, and just letting gravity take over. In Yin, it's fine to take the first little bit to find what really works well for you. There are some variations here if you'd like. You can use blocks underneath your knees to provide a little bit of support, or you can elevate your hips on a bolster so that your hips are a little bit higher and then have those blocks. And then just release and breathe. In Yin, gravity and time do the work as you let your muscles relax. And taking one healthy breath in and one healthy breath out. We'll begin to transition out, placing your hands, palms down on the ground, and slowly unfolding your spine, bringing yourself back up to a vertical position. Bringing your knees together, and then just gently moving your knees side to side, gentle windshield motion. Our next pose is half butterfly. For this, you'll extend your right leg forward, and the sole of your opposite foot, your left foot, will come to the inside of your right thigh. You'll rotate your shoulders towards your extended foot, and then gently, slowly roll forward, tucking your chin, letting your shoulders fall forward, perhaps taking your hands down your shins, reaching over your extended leg. For modifications, if you've got tight hamstrings, you can place a bolster or a block under that extended leg. If you'd like, a block under the bent knee provides additional support. In yin, as you move into the postures, you aim for about 60 to 70% of your edge. We're not going to your maximum here. You're not engaging your muscles, you're just letting gravity do its work. And over time, as you hold the posture, you may feel your body releasing or loosening, and it's fine to adjust in the middle if you need to. Do 3 more breath cycles here, and you may notice with each exhale, perhaps a millimeter more of release. After that last breath cycle, again, place your hands on the floor and very slowly push yourself back up to vertical. You'll bring your knees back in together in front of you. And again, just a few windshield wipers, perhaps a couple deep breaths. And we'll move to butterfly on the other side. So extending the left leg, right leg comes in. And as you do this, you may notice that one side is different than the other. Different props may serve to keep you comfortable. Rotate your shoulders towards the extended leg and gently fold in. You may notice that this position resembles Janu-Sirsasana, which we do in a flow class. The difference with yin is that we aren't engaging our muscles to hold us in place. Instead, we're relaxing everything and letting gravity exert a force on our connective tissue in our spine and hips. So can you bring attention to the sensations you're feeling and allow space for a sense of release, a sense of letting go? Perhaps returning to your breath with the count. Healthy breath in and a healthy breath out. Palms down on the floor, gently pushing yourself back up to vertical. Tucking your legs in, and we'll move slowly to a tabletop or a hands and knees position. This is a transition pose, so take your time here with hands under your shoulders and knees under your hips, and then perhaps just wiggle your spine in whichever way your body is calling. And we're going to move to Sphinx pose. So from tabletop, take your hands towards the front of the mat. Shift your hips forward to knee plank, and then slowly lower your belly. You'll find your hands next to your shoulders. Go ahead now and put your elbows where your hands are. So your elbows are underneath your shoulders. You can take your right hand and reach for your left elbow, your left hand and reach for your right elbow. And that tells you your shoulders are about in the right place. And now extend your hands out, reaching towards the front of the mat, and settle in. If this is uncomfortable, if you feel any sharp pains in your low back, we need to back off or move to a gentler Sphinx. And you can do that by taking the elbows a little wider, or you can do that by moving your hands forward on your mat. It's even okay to lower down to the rib cage and rest your chin on your fists. And as you breathe, each time you exhale, feeling a little bit of release in your spine. If you have space and aren't feeling much in your spine at all, you can take your toes a little wider on your mat. That will put a little bit more compression in your low spine, bringing a nice compressive force on those connective tissues. Bring attention to the sensation you feel. And notice in the quiet space we have, over time, does that sensation change a bit? Healthy breath in, healthy breath out. Bring your hands together on the mat in front of your forehead, bringing your forehead down to rest on the little pillow. Bend your knees. And just, again, a little windshield wiper to one side and the other. And then slowly rolling over onto your back. Our next asana or position will be banana. And on this, you'll be on your back with your hands extended up above your head. You'll take your right foot towards the right lower corner of your mat. Your right hand reaches over towards the right corner of the mat. And then your left foot and left hand follow. Now everybody's banana is going to look a little bit different, but you should feel a luscious, juicy side bend in your spine here. Again, when we move into a yin posture, aim for about 60% of your edge. Don't go to your maximum here, go to about 60, 70%, and then let it settle. And after a minute or so, you can adjust if you'd like. If you're not feeling any stretch here in your side body, you can take that left foot and cross it over the right to intensify. And release. Nowhere to be, nothing to do, returning to your breath. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Bringing your legs and arms back to center. Very slowly reaching down and bringing both knees into your chest. Perhaps making small little circles with your knees. Perhaps rocking side to side just a little bit. And then when you're ready, extending your feet, extending your arms up above, and we'll do the same thing, this time moving towards the left. So left foot towards the left bottom corner of your mat, left hand, feeling the stretch in your right side body, moving your right arm and right leg over as much as feels comfortable, and letting yourself settle. Observing, noticing the sensations, whether they're physical or emotional or part of your mental landscape. Just observing and then letting them pass. As you return to your breath. Healthy breath in, healthy breath out, and bringing your arms and legs back to center, reaching down, slowly bringing your knees into your chest. Again, little circles with your knees or rocking your hips side to side. We'll be moving now into a twist. So staying on your back, keeping your knees bent at a 90-degree angle and having your knees above your hips. Extend your arms out like a T on either side of your body and let your knees drop down to one side. Now there's a lot of different ways to do this. You may want to support your knees as they come down on either a block or a bolster if they don't come all the way to the floor. If you'd like to intensify the stretch, you may bring your bottom knee up towards the extended hand and move the top knee and foot back a little bit. But again, find a twist here that's about 60 to 70% of your edge, your maximum. And then settle. Relaxing, letting gravity and time work their magic. Noticing your sensation. Returning to your breath. Healthy breath in, healthy breath out, and slowly bring your knees back up to center. Reach down, bring them into your chest. Either rock side to side or little circles with your knees. As we get ready for our twist on the other side, again, knees above the hips, arms extended out to either side, and let your knees drop to the other side. Again, using bolster or block as needed for support, or bringing additional energy to the posture by taking the top knee down and the bottom knee up towards the extended hand. If at any point when you're holding a pose in yin you feel a sharp pain or discomfort, back off and readjust.
Taking a healthy breath in and a healthy breath out. Bring your knees back to center. Again, back into your chest. In 2, 3, exhaling 2, 3. Couple more breath cycles here. As we prepare to settle into Shavasana. And just like in a foot flow class, Shavasana in Yin can be anything you want. A bolster under your knees can feel particularly lovely, but find your position of comfort. In Yin, Shavasana may be held, because it's been such a quiet practice, we generally will hold Shavasana a little bit shorter period than we will in the flow classes. So we'll be here for about a minute. Make yourself comfortable, relaxed. Imagine that there's a little machine under the floor that's turned on its gravity effect and is just letting you release into the floor, the ground underneath you. Letting go completely. Letting go of your muscles. Letting go of the attention to your breath. With a gentle breath in and a gentle breath out, your eyes are closed, you might blink them open, begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, bringing energy to your legs and arms as you roll yourself over onto one side, bringing yourself back up to a seated position. Taking your hands out to the side, taking them up, out to the side, up to the sky, bringing in everything from this class that you want to take forward with you today, bringing your hands down to center. I'd like to thank you for joining our practice today.